Former police chief James Craig has officially endorsed Donald Trump. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video. Today, it is time that we talk about the 2024 U.S. Senate election in the great state of Michigan. Because everyone, we got some major news. Because the presumed candidate, James Craig, who many of you probably know, who is expected to run for the Senate election next year and is seen as a serious possibility, just endorsed Donald Trump for President of the United States. That is right, everyone. The former police chief of Detroit, yes, you heard that right, will in fact endorse Donald Trump for President of the United States. Now, there are serious questions about why he did that. But when you start to think about it, this may be a plan by Craig's campaign, or at least Craig himself, to try to get that covenant Trump endorsement next year. Because he is, by most accounts, probably going to run for the Senate election next year. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. So, at first, this doesn't seem like big news that, oh, next police chief is endorsing Trump. But when you start to look into the possible ramifications of this, you can think about it for a couple seconds. Because Craig is rumored to be running next year in the state of Michigan. That is a big rumor going around. And he, in fact, did run actually in 2022 for the governorship. And he was going to be the nominee against Whitmer, and I think he would have been a formidable candidate, more than what Tudor Dixon ended up being. Because look at the polling. The polling, yes, I know that the polling was off in Michigan, but compared to Tudor Dixon, James Craig was clearly outrunning every Republican. He was tied in Democrat polling. He was a candidate that had a possibility of winning. But the election board of the state of Michigan, they magically found enough signatures to disqualify him from the campaign. You cannot make this up. It just, either way, they did that on purpose. They found enough signatures that were wrong and illegal to kick off Craig from the ballot. At this point, it's a meme, you know? You can't make this stuff up. Like, I guarantee you, if this was the other way around, they would have still let James Craig on, if he was a Democrat. But nope, because he was a serious threat to the Democrats last year. They kicked him off the ticket. And, well, it seemed like that was over. It seemed like Craig was, well, that was his shot. But there's been much speculation going around that Craig is probably going to get into the Senate election this year against, most likely, Elisa Slotkin. And when you start looking at these candidates, man, we need Craig. Because of the declared ones, you got Ezra Scott, Nikki Snyder, Michael Hoover. Who are these people? I really don't know any of them. And you look at who's probably going to run, it's a bigger disaster because Peter Meijer. Yeah, that Peter Meijer, the guy that the elected bros love when he was awful, and he would have got absolutely crushed last year. Like, okay, he got past, if he magically got past the primary, he would have gotten killed in the general. Because how many Trump voters were actually going to vote for this guy? Not many. And I think the same thing's going to happen. The only advantage he has is his last name, Meyer. If it wasn't for that, he would be working at a grocery store. It's true. Funny enough. But either way, you look at the other candidates. Bill Huizenga, he's all right, but he's just not going to run. Mike Rogers, he's rumored to run. Not a bad option either. But I really think James Craig is our best option for the Senate election. And I think he's trying to get this a Trump endorsement by putting out this piece with the Daily Caller saying, Trump is our option. We have to back former President Trump next year. He's 100% trying to get that endorsement, I think, right away. And I agree with him. He actually had some very good points in this article. Really good ones, in fact. About why Trump is our best option. Not just, oh, Trump good, DeSantis bad. In fact, he actually praised a couple of the other candidates. But he gave some legitimately good reasons. For example, this. Under President Donald John Trump, the economy was stronger and the streets were safer. In fact, the world was safer. While America's southern border was being strengthened and American energy was being celebrated and utilized. It was a proud time to be an American. Which is 100% true. This is the biggest thing. Outside of the indictment stuff and rallying around the leader, let's be real. Most people, they may not like Trump personally, but they approved of his policy, especially on the economy, especially on energy, immigration. We had the safest the world has been in years. ISIS was dead. The Middle East was, compared to the past 20 years, stable. You didn't have a new war breakout. North Korea and South Korea, the tensions were starting to thaw a little bit. And thaw out, I should say. And you start looking at it, and well, we were, in fact, way better off just 5 years ago than we are now. Trump has a record. His judges, despite them being questionable at times, they overturn Roe versus Wade. They protect our gun rights basically every other time. And they've been solid enough to say, hey, they've been solid justices on the Supreme Court. There are undoubtedly some young Americans on the presidential hopeful stage right now with bright futures, holding both great potential and original ideas, who demonstrate clearly that America is waiting in the wings the right men and women ready to continue serving and leading our country when their time ultimately arrives. Yeah, you see, he's not attacking the other candidates. He's just saying that, look, the other candidates, they're young, some have good ideas, great potential, but Trump is up 50 points right now. People remember he had a very successful presidency. And most of the people that are honest with themselves admit his policy achievements were great. And not just, some BS spin from the White House like the Biden administration. Like, look at the new jobs report. Dig deep into where the new jobs are. They're not your high-paying, blue-collar manufacturing jobs. They're low-quality crap. All right, it's gig jobs. It's summer jobs. While under the Trump administration, the economic and job growth were high-paying, good jobs. Manufacturing, all of it. So he actually is spot on about this. He's spot on about Trump has a record. He's solved a lot of issues that many presidents in the past have completely ignored. There is a lot to say that Craig understands what he's talking about. And I think he did learn his lesson about some things in 2022. For example, say what you will about the election board. We got to make sure that doesn't happen again, where he gets disqualified for some dubious reasons. But you start looking at it from, I would say, an outside perspective. Who's our best option? Okay, he got disqualified, okay? who of these candidates excite us enough? Peter Meyer? He'd get crushed in a primary, let alone a general. Huizenga's not going to run. Mike Rogers is fine, but would he be the one that really get the Trump base to, vehemently support him? I don't know. He is from a district that has been swinging a bit Republican, but either way, it's like, you start looking at it. The realistic options, not, John Tuttle like Steve Daines wants for whatever reason. James Craig is the one candidate that he has a solid record as being a police chief of Detroit and several other cities. But also, he has name recognition. He has learned from his mistakes in 2022. And I think he can unite the base for his past as chief of the police of one of the bigger cities, and especially in the Midwest. And again, not as big as Chicago, obviously, but still, it is a decent-sized city. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.